Okay, so today we're going to continue our investigation of polygons, and we're going to start talking about one special type of polygon. But the category that we're getting ready to enter into is quadrilaterals. And a quadrilateral is a polygon with four sides. A quadrilateral is any polygon with four sides. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral with both pairs of opposite sides parallel. No, remember we used like the two parallel lines side by side to represent parallel there. On a parallelogram, the opposite sides are parallel and congruent. The diagonals bisect each other. That means they have the same midpoint. And the angles, opposite angles are congruent and consecutive angles are supplementary. What does supplementary mean again? Means they add to 180, yes. All right. So we're going to go ahead and mark up this parallelogram here with what we just mentioned. We said the opposite sides were parallel and congruent. So this side is parallel to this side, and the top is congruent to the bottom. The left is parallel to the right, and the left is congruent to the right. Said that the diagonals bisect each other, so I'm going to draw in the diagonals. We go from opposite corners, connect opposite corners here. This point right here where those two diagonals are intersecting breaks this diagonal into two equal parts, and it breaks the other diagonal into two equal parts. The diagonals are bisecting each other. And then opposite angles are congruent, so lower left and upper right angle are congruent. Upper left and lower right angle are congruent. And I don't have any way that I can mark the supplementary on there, so you will just have to work on remembering that piece. Opposite angles are congruent, and consecutive angles, so these two right here, are supplementary. All right. Let's see if we can use that now to find some missing pieces on example number 3. So on example 3, we have this parallelogram here. It says find all missing sides and angles. So let's see if we can mark this one up like we marked up that other parallelogram. Which side would be the same size as DE? GF. DE and GF are not only congruent, but they are parallel. What else could we mark on this picture? What else do we know? And congruent, yes. DG and EF are parallel and congruent. What else is congruent on this shape? Which angles specifically? So angle F is the same as angle what? Angle D. Okay. What else do we have that would be congruent? Angle G and angle E, yes. All right, so one of the first things they ask us for is the measurement of angle D. How big would the measurement of angle D be? 106. And then they ask for angle E. What do we know about angles D and E? They are supplementary. Which means they add up to what? 180. So the measurement of angle E plus 106 degrees equals 180 degrees. So how big is angle E? 74. Well, if angle E is 74 degrees, how big is angle G? Also 74 degrees, yes. All right, 2 more things to fill in here. What is the size of side DG? 3.6 inches. And what about FG? 8 inches, yes. Very nice work. Let's go ahead and flip it over to page 5. So there's our symbol for parallelogram. This symbol right here means parallelogram. It says in parallelogram ABCD, the measure of angle ADC is 4x degrees, and the measurement of angle DAB is 2x minus 6 degrees. All right, so let's find angle ADC first. We go from A down to D and over to C. So this angle right here is the one that is 4x degrees. And then angle DAB is 2x minus 6 degrees. D up to A and over to B. So this right here is 2x minus 6 degrees. From E to C is Z plus 5. And from A to E is 3Z minus 4. They want us to find the measure of X and to find the measure of Z. What do we know about these two angles? They're supplementary, yes. And what does supplementary mean? It means they add up to 180. So the measure of angle DAB plus the measure of angle ADC is equal to 180 degrees. Angle DAB is 2x minus 6. Drop my plus sign down. Angle ADC is 4x. That's equal to 180. All right, let's solve this for x. First thing I need to do is combine my x's together. What do I get when I combine 2x and 4x together? We get 6x. So 6x minus 6 equals 180. Then we're going to add 6 to both sides. So 6x equals 186. Then we divide both sides by 6, and we get what for x? 31. Nicely done. All right, and that's because my two consecutive or same side angles, if they're consecutive one after the other, then they're going to add to 180 in a parallelogram. What do we know about our diagonals in a parallelogram? They bisect each other. What does bisect mean? They cut each other in half. So I'm looking right here at DB. Lost my pen for a minute. Right here. This is a diagonal. And it is cutting this diagonal in half. So what do we know about AE and EC then? They are congruent, yes. AE is congruent to EC. And if those segments are congruent, what does that mean about their measurements? They are equal. So the measurement of segment AE is equal to the measurement of segment EC. AE is 3z minus 4. And that is equal to what? z plus 5. And now we solve this for z. The first thing we need to do is get our z's to the same side. So I'm going to subtract z from both sides. What is 3z minus z? 2z. So 2z minus 4 equals 5. Then we add 4 to both sides. We get 2z equals what? 2z equals 9. Then we divide both sides by 2. Does 2 go evenly into 9? No. So I can either leave my answer as the fraction, 9 over 2, or I could change that into its decimal form. What would that be in decimal form? 4.5. Nicely done. All right. Let's look at number 5. What kind of a shape do we have in number 5? Yep, a parallelogram. Remember, this right here means parallelogram. Given parallelogram A, B, C, D, find the values of W, X, Y, and the length of AD. Whew, that's a lot. Give me one thing that we know is congruent that we could use to help us. AB, from right here to right here. You said that's congruent to what? DC, from right here to right here. So here's DC, and here's AB. AB is congruent to DC. So that means the length of segment AB is equal to the length of segment DC. So 3 times W minus 14 is equal to 22 minus 5W. If we're going to solve this for W, I need to get rid of the parentheses here. What can I do with this 3 to get rid of the parentheses? Yes, we're going to multiply. We're going to distribute. So I distribute that 3 inside the parentheses. We have 3W minus what? 42 equals 22 minus 5W. Now we're going to get our W's to the same side, so I'm going to add 5W to both sides. So that would give me 8W minus 42 equals 22. Then I get my constants to the same side, so I'm going to add 42 to both sides. 8W equals 64. And then we're going to divide both sides by 8. What is 64 divided by 8? 8. So W is 8. So far, so good. Can I use that to answer any of these other questions? X, Y, or AD? Which one? AD. Well, when I look over here at side AD, there's nothing over there for me to substitute into. But what do we know? BC is the exact same size. AD is congruent to BC. So the length of AD is equal to the length of BC. So AD is equal to 6W minus 33. So that means 6 times 8 minus 33. What is 6 times 8? 48. So AD is equal to 48 minus 13. What is 48 minus 13? 15. Sorry, not minus 13, minus 33. I wrote the wrong thing. 33. And we get 15. There we go. All right, we've got half of them. We need X and we need Y now. Which one am I going to have to find first, X or Y? I'm going to have to find X first. So let's look at where we see X. I see an X here, and I see an X here. So for angles D and C, what do we know about these two angles? They're supplementary, yes. So that means 3x minus 2 plus 2x plus 2 equals 180. Because this is the measure of angle D, and this is the measure of angle C. What happens when we combine our constants here? We get a 0. They cancel out. So I've got my x's to combine. What do we get when we combine the x's? 5x. So 5x equals 180. And then we're going to divide both sides by 5. What is 180 divided by 5? 36. So x is 36. And now we still need to find y. How are we going to be able to find y with the information that we have? Yes, not equals 36, but you're close. It doesn't equal x, but it is equal to something else that's in the picture. Two x plus 2. Angles A and C are congruent. Angle A is congruent to angle C. So the measurement of angle A is equal to the measurement of angle C. So 2y plus 22 is equal to 2x plus 2. And now we can put 36 in the place of x. So 2y plus 22 equals 2 times 36 plus 2. What is 2 times 36? 72 plus 2. What is 72 plus 2? 74. Got to bring my work over here. Ran out of room. So 2y plus 22 equals 74. What should I do next? Subtract 22 from both sides. What is 74 minus 22? So 2y equals 52. And then we divide both sides by 2. And that means y is what? Y is 26. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. Let's go ahead and wrap it up there for today. We're going to hang on to number 6 until the beginning of class tomorrow. Yes. Oh, got it. The homework that you guys picked up on your way in the door is due on Thursday in 2 days. Due on Thursday. We've gone through most of what you need there. We haven't talked about tests for parallelograms yet, and we'll do one more example that is very similar to this. But you can do pretty much the entire front side of the homework. The back side you'll have to wait until tomorrow's lesson, but the front side you can do today. Skills check is next Monday. Skills check is on Monday.